Hey guys, how's it going? Today I wanted to make a video I've been meaning to make for a while now. Honestly overdue, about a week or so. But it is of course my reaction to the Demonology Necrolord. Almost said Night Fate, but Necrolord Demonology nerfs that came out in 9.2, targeting Decimating Bolt specifically, and sort of my thoughts as one of the top players in the US for Demonology, somebody who's played the spec for 6 years, 5 years, and mains it full time. This change really affects me, how I play the game, how I engage with the game, Shadowlands, and my plans moving forward with the spec in PvP. Now, without further ado, I'm going to be as in-depth with sort of my analysis of these changes as I possibly can, but also try to respect your time. And also bear with me, I do have a bit of a lisp and some swollen cheeks because I did have my wisdom teeth removed like 4 or 5 days ago. So the swelling is going down, but it's still present. If you enjoy the video, I would appreciate a subscribe if you like Demonology content similar to this. We do that. That's all we do. And if you want to catch me live, I do stream live currently on YouTube, but I will be moving over to Twitch. So follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/Rivstur. And yeah, like the video, comment. Any engagement helps me out in the algorithm. So thank you very much. So to start things off, we'll start by showing you the changes that occurred and sort of taking it from there. With Realm restarts, reduce the effectiveness of Decimating Bolt's Necrolord ability bonus damage to Demon Bolt by 30% in PvP combat. With Realm restarts, Shard of Annihilation Rune Carving Power now increases the critical strike damage of Decimating Bolt by 35%. PvP combat was 50%. So effectively, guys, you're looking at the reduction to Demon Bolt by 30%, effectively a 30% damage reduction, and then you have a crit damage modifier reduction by 15%, which comes out roughly to about 50%. So for the sake of the simplicity of the video, we're just going to say like 50%. It's maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but I've tested this and it feels like at least a 50% nerf to damage being your top end, after all your modifiers are stacked, right? But what are the implications of this? So where this came from, why this change was put into the game, has to be taken in context with sort of the last couple of weeks with Demonology performing better than it has in a very long time. There's more representation for Demonology than has ever, I guess, been in the last 6 years. Certain, big names in WoW started to make alts for Demonology, trying it out, everything like that. And it was specifically because of this legendary effect in the game. Specifically because of this legendary effect in the game right here, Balespider's Burning Core. For anybody who doesn't know, Shadow Bolt increased the damage of your Demon Bolt by 15%, stacking up to 4 times last 20 seconds. People with the double legendary system were stacking this legendary on top of the Sack Souls bonus, your Power Siphon bonus, your FTS bonus, everything like that, to get Demon Bolts ranging from 60 to 70k. Who knows how true that is? I've never personally seen it. I'm taking people's word. I think there's a lot of hyperbolic language. I've heard like 100k Demon Bolts. A lot of people chatting bullshit, but we can pretty safely say that I think the Demon Bolts were like 60k at least. But yeah, with enough prep, maybe it was possible to get 70k. I don't know, guys, because I actually didn't play with this legendary. I crafted it now because it's the only way to play Necrolord because of what we'll talk about in just a second, which we'll get into that, I guess, but not to get too ahead of myself. But I did want to kind of explain that before people are like, oh, well, you have the legendary. So yeah, I am actually not a very big fan of this legendary at all. I was actually saying that this was going to get nerfed. I knew that these changes were coming in because of all the coverage covering Demonology. I knew that the spec was about to get slapped. So Demonology was overpowered for those 2 weeks because of that legendary interaction, stacking a modifier on top of 3 or 4 other modifiers. That is precisely what made this damage overpowered. So to answer the first question of my title, was it justified, or one of the main questions of the video, in its maximum greatest form, I think a nerf was necessary, okay? But the applications of that change, though, and how it was implemented, I believe were wrong and incorrect. Prior to, if you look at the history of this ability, Decimating Bolt, it was never really that broken in season 2, sorry. It was implemented in season 2. But in 9.1, when it came out, A lot of people, like, it gave Demonology options for possible builds outside of the cookie cutter meta default build that was played. This was played all the time, right? Even Doom. I mean, but roughly like Demonic Client. This was kind of a flex pick. I picked Power Siphon. Some people were even playing Doom. This is your default pet build, right? Well, we've played this, guys, for like the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. It was really nice to be able to finally play the version of Demonology I wanted to play in Sack Souls and get a chance to really engage with Demonology in a fun and interesting way. I don't just like my damage being tied up with a tyrant that frankly has a shitty UI and half the time doesn't even attack the target you want him to attack. So that's really what this Decimating Bolt Necrolord Covenant, build was able to accomplish. You were able to play with Fleshcraft, giving you more defensive options, a defensive cooldown effectively, that paired really well with your wall. Necrolord was sort of built for Warlock. I guess it's just really sad as somebody who never played that legendary to have me targeted. They targeted the baseline ability, guys. The Necrolord base ability and the base legendary Shard of Annihilation, when it was never problematic before now. In the last 2 weeks with double legendary, it was problematic. But Demonology wasn't overrepresented before that. It wasn't that problematic. Your damage now was like twice what it was in 9.1. You were doing like twice as much damage. Like your max hit last season was maybe 35k, 30k. Now they're 70k. It doubled. You know what I mean? So I wanted to really nail that home first. We got the culprit in the crosshairs. Balespider's burning core was problematic and bad for the game. It also inspired gameplay options, rather I should say gameplay strategies and practices that I think were toxic for the game. Standing in the back line, planting yourself and spamming Shadow Bolt is like really fucking boring. And facing a Demonology lock, constantly trying to farm that up was extremely contrived. It was very, very boring, and yeah, so that's just my opinion. I never played this legendary. I never wanted to. My Covenant got nerfed by 50%. My build nerfed by 50%, even though this legendary is the only reason this ability was overpowered. But they targeted the base ability instead of the legendary. So that's my first problem with the tuning. Was it justified? Yes, we did need a nerf, but Blizzard targeted the Covenant instead of targeting the legendary that made it overpowered. Now nobody can play the base Covenant without that legendary, and even with that legendary, it's not as good as it was. You still have to farm, playing with that legendary is super finicky. It's finicky, you have to spam Shadow Bolt, you have to get your build. It's really boring, man. It's really not fun. So now, what do you know, guys? We're back to playing Night Fae. It's the only good build for Demonology. You lose a lot of survivability, the pets are fucking very wonky, but it's all you have. It's all you have for Demonology now. It's so upsetting to be sidelined once again. We finally had our time in the sun for literally the blink of an eye, and then we get gutted. 50% too? That's a bit much, Blizzard. Maybe nerf the legendary by 50 or maybe like 30% and the base Covenant by like 20%. But they gutted the whole Covenant, man, baseline. So that's my first problem with that. Blizzard should have handled the change better instead of alienating everybody playing Demonology at that time. Now the ladder is split on the top end. Couple players playing Night Fae, couple players playing Necro. We'll see how it goes, but Demonology, Destro just got buffed by 5% and there's no reason to play Demonology at all. Destro's doing way better and pretty overpowered, pretty damn good, man, pretty good. Demonology was gimmicky. It's always been gimmicky, and to be punished so harshly, it was an overcorrection on Blizzard's part. It was an overreaction. So yeah, it's just sad. I'd like to see them buff the base damage of demon pets in light of losing 50% top end burst damage. Feels kind of like if you're Necrolord, you can't even kill anything right now. They should have buffed, to compensate for that, buffed baseline Demon Bolt damage by like 5 to 10%. That would have felt really good with this Axel's build. They could have done so many different things, guys, to kind of compensate for that. And it shows lazy design, lazy tuning. Shows they really don't care. Another point, man, to hammer home is, I'm sorry, but I don't think it was the most broken interaction in this game. I keep dying through my wall against Rogue. I press my wall. I have Soul Link, and I still die through 60% reduction, 100-0 in a fucking cheap shot. I've had that happen. I keep dying to DK Warrior. I keep dying to whatever. There's so many one-shots in this game, guys, but Demonology, the one you have to work the most for, sorry, if you disagree with that, you're just wrong. Demonology has to work for their burst, their one-shot, the hardest out of any spec in this game, and I will literally, tooth and nail, argue and debate with you in a Discord call, like open invite. Like, you can invite me to a Discord call and I'll literally debate you on this. It was the hardest spec to set up the damage for and get it to that level. Is 50k excessive? Yeah. But you know how much prep and work went into that? Anybody who's going to sit here and pretend that they were going 0 to 100 on you as soon as the gates opened is just wrong. They're just wrong. It literally takes like 20 to 35 to 40-ish seconds of like free casting to literally set up the demon damage, to set up that burst. There's 3 or 4 things you have to check off first. You need to have a lot of demons on the field. A, to amp the Saxil's bonus modifier up enough. You need to have Power Siphon, the 2 charges set up, primed, ready to go. You need to have ramped up your demons, your damage, and gotten cores and shards. And you need to have set up your Tyrant properly, which all of this can be prevented, by the way. The Tyrant is how you set up a bunch of demons in succession and get those numbers up so high, which most people are getting up to like 10 to 20-ish imps, whatever. So total like maybe 15 demons to benefit the Saxils. All of these casts can be just interrupted or stunned or whatever. Yeah, and then here's the final thing. They can't kite you at all. If they kite you, all your momentum goes away. Your demons despawn. Keep in mind, demons don't last forever. They have a shelf life and they expire very fast. If you kite a Demonology Warlock, his damage goes away. So they were kiting you out, kiting the Balespider. If any smart player was kiting the Balespiders, whenever the buff was ramped up on the Warlock, all you had to do is just run away from him. I mean, the only argument is like with them, if the Demonology was playing with a Frost Mage, yeah, that's a little hard to just kite a Frost Mage. I encountered problems with that, but again, that's one argument. So there's so many things, man, the Demonology had to do. And if you look at it conversely, the Rogue can just pop all his cooldowns on you and one-shot you right when the gates open. Rogue Mage goes 0 to 100 on you. No, you don't have time to ramp up. This is why Demonology sucks in 2s, is because a lot of times, man, you're already behind in the arena interaction before you've even ramped up your demons. I know what I'm talking about, guys. I've played this for so many years. And it's insane to me the amount of fucking misinformation out there about how Demonology works. A lot of people who don't fucking know what they're talking about, don't know anything about the spec, want to sit here and have an opinion about it and talk about it like it needs to get gutted and it's so problematic, when meanwhile you're playing a rogue and you're killing people through their defensives. Demonology, yeah, maybe killed you through some of your defensives, but I was never one-shotting somebody with, which I'm talking, again, I guess I didn't play Balespider, fine. I was never killing somebody through Dampen Harm. Dampen Harm's like a 60% magic reduction, whatever. It's similar to my wall. I think that like there's classes in this game that can do 10k DPS. I've literally seen it. Demon Hunter, Windwalker Monk, Warriors, Fury Warriors are extremely problematic right now. Frost Mages are fucking problematic. If you're gonna nerf Demo, nerf Frost too. Are you kidding me? I'm literally seeing Frost Mages chain out 30k Frostbolts, man. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Destro's getting up there now, you know what I mean? So it's just fucking ridiculous, guys. It's fucking ridiculous to have my spec just completely gutted. And it ruins my fun in the game, guys. So that's pretty much my thoughts on that. I really fucking was upset when that came out. I wanted to make a video about it. I needed time to gather my thoughts, and then I got my wisdom teeth taken out. I've been meaning to make a video about it for a little bit, kind of giving my thoughts, because I'm really the authority on the Demonology subject, as far as I know, for YouTube. A lot of these other, top Demonology players, they don't really engage with YouTube. And so I think it's sort of up to me to represent the spec as best I can from the years of experience and knowledge that I have with the spec. And as I've kind of climbed up, I want to be the best Demonology this season. I'm working really hard to improve, and it's really sad to just see my spec gutted and nerfed and put so far behind, because when you play Demonology, it for the last 5-6 years, you're fighting an uphill battle against people who have it way easier than you. And that's just a fact, bro. That's just a fact. Playing Demonology seasons when it wasn't even viable, it was such a meme. And I've seen it climax get so to this high level where everyone wanted to play with you. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, oh, dude, do the one shot. And it was like it felt super good, man, to be validated in that way. Because I'm not going to re-roll. Okay, I'm not going Destro. I'm not going Af. That's not how I engage with this game, and there's only one spec I love, and I'm passionate about in this game, and it's why I play this game. So I want to be the best Demonology Warlock I can be. And it's sad now because everybody's like, oh, dude, Demonology got nerfed? Holy shit. And they're like, miss me with that shit. It's very interesting how a lot of your B tags, after you get nerfed, they know you get nerfed. A lot of your B tags, bro, they straight dodge you. They start dodging you. You message them, they're dodging you. No one wants to queue with you now because of something Blizzard did to your spec that was an overcorrection. Yeah, it was problematic, but it was one interaction, and it's too bad that Blizzard can't see any nuanced, can't see between the lines, can't read between the lines, and can't understand nuanced reasoning. And instead they just act like a 4-year-old in how they tune their game and choose to just snipe down the root ability instead of what was making it overpowered. Like, you have this fun interaction in the game and you kill that interaction completely when it was one version of that interaction that was problematic for the game. So anyways, guys, that was my thoughts on that. Again, just wanted to provide my opinion. As a Gladiator Demonology Warlock, there isn't a lot of people out there that play Demonology on a high end, and I wanted to give you the take right from the horse's mouth as one of the authorities on the subject. So thank you very much for your time. Thank you for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe to my channel if you like Demonology content. I'll have a lot more for you. And yeah, come hang out with us live on Twitch, twitch.tv/Rivstur. I'll have my schedule coming out soon. Take it easy and enjoy your day. Thank you.